Kindness is often mistaken for softness without strength. That couldn't be further from the truth. In this episode, Teja opens up about the reality of building a brand while growing as a person, shedding what no longer serves you, staying calm under pressure, and finding a motivation to move forward when things feel uncertain. We talk about resilience, visualization, affirmation, and redefining what success and failure really mean. This conversation is about using kindness and softness not as weaknesses, but as tools for navigating business, life, and change. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Soft Power Project. Today, I have Teja again from Butter Be Kind. Hi, Teja.
Hey.
This is very special because not only we're recording this in Christmas Eve, also, she is the first guest that I'm bringing back for the second time on Soft Power.
I'm honored.
Yeah, simply because I know there's so much happened in 2025 and I cannot wait to ask her what's happening, what has she learned, and what I can learn from her. Because to me, she is the most positive, bright person I've ever met. And I always love her energy. So, hi, Teja. Thank you for bringing that energy to me again.
Don't make me cry. I'm PMSing, so I'm so emotional. Don't say nice things about me. No, but thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for having me again.
Oh.
And yeah, so we can learn from each other and like we always do.
I know. So if you guys don't know, Butter Be Kind is a beautiful skincare product line that Teja founded and launched, and she did everything on her own. So she's incredibly, I'm sorry, I have to say nice things. So
I'm just going to try not to hear them.
She is so kind, so resourceful, so scrappy. And then she just managed to just put everything she has into this brand. And I feel like, you represent Butter Be Kind. And I wanted to open up with this question. How has the idea of kindness changed throughout your career of building Butter Be Kind?
That's such a powerful question to start with. I didn't expect it any other way with you,
Okay.
but wow. So starting Butter Be Kind, I still remember, brainstorming the names. And I remember how I just wanted one of the main values of the brand to be represented in the name. That was my goal. So that's why Butter Be Kind. And I wanted it to be obviously a wordplay. And it didn't go deep, I just thought, okay, kindness, cool, it's whatever. it's a nice value.
Mm-hmm.
I was brought up to be kind to, other people, to the planet. My family is big on sustainability. So, and then now, especially this year, I feel like we went deeper and deeper into kindness, especially kindness to yourself. Maybe even like softness to yourself. How do I talk to myself? What kind of thoughts am I producing when I take a shower? What kind of thoughts am I producing when I'm putting on my moisturizer? And I'm starting to ask this question actually my teammates. Yeah, I just had a conversation yesterday with one of them, and I said, "Do you ever acknowledge the thoughts that you're thinking while taking a shower?" And she was like, "No, I don't want to do that." And this is the kindness that developed through the time. And I'm actually, sometimes I sit and I'm like, oh, wow, this is so much deeper than I initially imagined. And a lot of times we hear, oh, kindness is people, you just let people walk over you if you're kind.
Yeah.
But that's not true. The true kindness, it's similar to your message. Softness is power. Softness doesn't mean you don't have boundaries. And kindness doesn't mean you just let people walk, on you or through you. What is the expression?
Over you.
Over you. Thank you. But it means that you choose to be kind to yourself to start with. And if you're kind to yourself, you try to find products that are kind to you. You try to find food that is kind to you. And then we have kindness to the other person. You have kindness to the planet, the animals, the aspect that a lot of us forget about, especially growing a brand. Everything is just, let's make it shiny. Let's make it great packaging. No one thinks about the planet. No one thinks about what's going to happen with this. So kindness definitely developed through ever since starting Butter Be Kind. And I'm so grateful for that because it's teaching me as well to be kinder to myself. Because it's funny, sometimes, I talk a lot about self-acceptance, self-love, kindness, and then I see myself in the mirror and I see, oh my God, I'm not saying nice things to myself sometimes, But yeah, it's grown a lot.
Oh, I think that's so beautiful because it kind of follow you through your journey of knowing yourself as well. And you're a beautiful young woman. And I felt like, in a way, I felt like I've watched you grown, even though I think I know you for about 2 years now. You've grown so much. I'm almost like watching my little sister kind of grown into this beautiful woman. And this year has been incredible for you. I mean, the fact that you've met Richard Branson, I know that you're really putting yourself out there. But I think to me, and I know that for a lot of the people, this year has been kind of a shedding year where we kind of like deconditioning and letting go a lot of things. How has it been for you?
This year has been the most intense year that I've ever experienced. Yes, I saw a lot of, like you said, shedding, letting go. For me, personally, I feel like 2024 was very much a lot of like letting go of old business relationships, some partnerships with Butter Be Kind that we started, and how when things just don't click, and then you're trying to, okay, maybe we just need to do it a little differently. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So I feel like for me, 2024 was hard in terms of still finding the way, like which market are we on? Where are we focusing? The team was still pretty much me in 2024. So I feel like 2025 for me as a person, as Teja, was a little bit more, it felt more put together. It felt like I have a better foundation to actually start growing on that. And we were able to build some really, really nice momentum throughout the year. And I'm super grateful, but it was still so hard. It was mostly, I feel like I still needed to let go of a lot of doubt, insecurities. I mean, I think everyone is experiencing a lot of this. But yeah, 2025, I feel like 2024 was like building the foundation. 2025 felt like making it stronger and starting to grow. So 2026, we're ready. Yeah.
I resonate with that so much. When you're growing, you absolutely need to let go a lot of things that just did not work. But if you don't mind me asking, because I think a lot of people are dealing with this, especially with a lot of industry really laying off a lot of jobs, I think people are grieving for that loss of identities, especially we tied our jobs with our self-worth quite a lot. And when you're letting go of relationship, and it doesn't matter if it's business relationship, friendship, or whatever relationship, you have to grieve as well. How was that process for you to grieve? And especially you kind of had to do this on your own, right?
I'm not sure people are going to like this answer.
No?
But I think the best way to grieve yes, is first of all, you acknowledge the feeling. But then I believe a very important thing is to know where you want to go next.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's, I'm talking about business grieving
Mm-hmm.
now, or just maybe like friendships is different if you lose someone, someone dies. I think that's a very different story. So please don't don't ask me about that. But if it's about a relationship, and I lost a few really good, what I thought were good friends in the last year. I think really, really important is, yes, you acknowledge. Of course you're sad. Of course you feel like I don't have any friends now, or whatever comes up. But in business especially, that's what I learned this year. Because what was happening for me this year in business was I hired people, and then after a month or two, you see the real picture. You see the real person. You see that they are not at all who they represent themselves. They don't have any of the skills that they put on their resume, or, you know, they talked about. And for me, that, again, it was hard for me to fire them, but I had a really clear picture of, this is where I want to go next. This is what I actually want in my team. This is what I actually want in my business. So I think that grieving is sometimes a very long process, just because we get so deep into every single thought that comes out through the grieving process. And in business, for example, you have so many things that can pop into your mind. It can be like, was this the right decision? What if I should have waited for one more week, or one more month, or one more year? And
Mm-hmm.
this can go into like infinity. So I feel like, I'm not saying get distracted. I don't want this to sound weird, but you know how I think kids are a really good example. When let's say my 5-year-old nephew, right? He falls. It hurts. Of course it hurts. Like, he fell badly. You pick him up, you acknowledge his pain, and then you say, did you see the bird? Or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And immediately they can go from crying because of the pain to happiness because they're so excited to see the bird. And I feel like if we did this as adults a little bit more often, you still acknowledge your pain, you still acknowledge your sadness, but you also acknowledge that, oh, there's something more exciting that I can
Yeah.
focus on. So, but you mentioned that I had to go through it alone. I never see it that way. I mean, I might not have a partner currently, or a business partner and a co-founder, whatever, but I do have mentors, and I talk about them a lot, I think. um and I know that even this year it was so intense at some moments, especially with the big order that we had. It was so intense. I know that me as Teja, especially Teja 2023 version or 2022 version, would have collapsed because the pressure was too high. The risk was too big. It was the first time I was doing certain things, and I felt so, like, where am I? This is a new world for me. So I never would have made it alone. And I'm not saying this as, oh, I'm weak, but it was just a very new level that I had to accomplish.
Yeah.
Like in a game.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you level up. You have to go through
Yeah.
the other one, the other
You still
level,
gotta
right?
get all the coins. You still
Yeah,
gotta do the
yeah.
jumps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything you said, and I actually heard it from someone on this in another interview, is that, she went through a lot of griefs, and also grieving the loss of her parents and grieving the business itself and losing relationships. But exactly just like what you said, it's about exposing yourself to new opportunities, to what's ahead of you, so that you can feel the grief but not live in it, right? You actually get out of it. And I think that's so important to understand is that sometimes when we feel like, oh, we got to grieve, or we can actually be in there for a very long time if we overanalyze and intellectualize. And I think a lot of us, especially like I know that sometimes for me, like I try to understand why, how come this didn't work out? And I'm trying to connect all the dots, like remember what had happened, what I said. But it's so unnecessary sometimes when I think about it, because it's just like, it's just in the past and it doesn't matter. But I think what you said, I think that's what really get you forward. And that's, you maintain that momentum. So you keep going. And then understand that you said that having someone to support you, whether it's a mentor or someone that you really trust, that's so important. And I know that has really helped you, right, throughout your career.
Yeah. I mean, looking back,
Mm-hmm.
I was a scientist before.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in a lab as a researcher. So my day was very different. If you asked me 5 years ago, I would say I'm the most introverted person that you can ever meet. And I probably was. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I went to work at, I don't even know, I think 7 a.m.,
Mm-hmm.
came back home 7 p.m. And after that, I was just like, just leave me alone. Just let me eat, watch Netflix, be with my ex.
Mm-hmm.
But now everyone is like, oh, you're so open, you're so extroverted. I, I don't think I am. I mean, I don't think I
Mm-hmm.
am. I just think I was so disconnected from the essence of who I am. A person, I love people. I love to talk to people. But in between, that kind of like got hidden below all the blockages, whatever you want to call that, patterns that were not supporting me in my growth. It was just me inside my little, little house. So yeah, I don't think without doing, the mindset work and working with mentors. That's why I say it so often, because I'm also so grateful for them. I know that I don't think I would have enough courage and power and belief to even quit my job and go into something that's actually fulfilling me and making me so happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I'm just watching you this year. It's just absolutely incredible. Again, still though, like as a solo entrepreneur, you have to make a lot of really important decisions on your own, and facing all these big orders from retailers, that's like a tremendous pressure. So talk me through, how do you cope with that pressure when it's just so impossible to see? Because that's something that you've never actually had to deal with before. Every time you deal with the pressure, it's something like even greater than the last one. How did you cope with that?
Oh my God. One day at a time.
Uh-huh.
No, but yeah, it's true. It's so funny because I think pressure is the most uncomfortable thing. And or maybe the thing I don't want to say struggle, but it was the biggest challenge for me was to face the pressure this year.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Because the pressure was rising and rising and rising and rising, like you said. And yes, you go through pressure in different
Uh-huh.
phases, but every time it comes again, you're like, again? It's so funny. It's like your brain forgets or something. How I dealt with it, again, similar, it's actually a similar answer to the grief question.
Uh-huh.
I just have such a strong why and such a strong vision of this is where this is bringing me. I think everyone has to find their own like personal, fire or something that really sets your heart on fire and it's like, let's go. Maybe for someone that the motivation, I have a friend, her big motivation are kids, because she wants to build a different future for them.
Right.
For me, the biggest motivation is just exactly that, the curiosity to get to know the next level and to see what's there. What's after? Like, what's the version of Teja that comes after this? That's what drives me. And again, in times of pressure, and I'm not saying it's easy. When pressure comes, I still, sometimes I'm like, what is happening? Why is this happening? But I also know that this is exactly what I have to do to, first of all, get to my business goals, to get to the next level of business in general, to get to the next level of Teja and get to know her.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is the only way through the really big pressure is to have a really strong why and a really clear goal. This is where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going there. And then also, second thing, the decision to be like, I'm getting there, even if my everything is hurting. That doesn't sound soft or kind, but that's the reality.
Yeah, yeah. No.
Growth is so uncomfortable. And I think a lot of times I hear, some of the teachers or spiritual leaders, however we want to call them, talk about, you have to listen to yourself, you have to listen to your body. Yes, absolutely. But then sometimes, and especially in times of like high pressure, if you listen to your body, you're not going to go through it. If you listen to your body, I mean, if I know if I would listen to my body or to my mind, so to my like old programming, the order that we had, the 220,000 units order, I would quit in between because my everything was saying this is impossible. So many things were not going in a way that we were planning to. The ingredients, the manufacturing, the transport. Oh my God. So my everything was screaming, quit.
So would you say, is it like the next version of Teja is actually sitting there and be like, no, don't quit. You're
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
I love that.
You know how I always see it as, how you have a video game and then you have this in the end, towards the end, you always have like a big monster you have to fight, or you have like this super high jump that it's so hard to do for some reason. I feel like it's the same. So even if you don't take the jump, or if you try to avoid the monster, you're not going to get to the next level in the game. And I feel like it's the same, for example, for me, for this order. I knew that if I don't go through it now, it's going to happen again. I'm going to try to scale the business again, or still. And the opportunity, I mean, always comes, right? So we would get another order. And I know that I would be facing the same challenge. So why not do it now?
It's kind of like the universe is giving you a lesson. And if you don't take it or learn the lesson, you're going to get given the same lesson again and again.
Yeah.
I think that's how you build resilience. That's really how you see, again, like you are seeing the next version of yourself and next version of yourself. That's so incredible. I'm learning so much from you because sometimes I see you on social media and you're incredibly, again, you are so positive, but you're not like hiding everything, but you are just very positive because that's really the version that it's attracting you to go forward. But I'm always wondering, wow, like there has to be so much lesson behind the scene that you're learning in order to be that positive. And I'm just wondering, I mean, it seems like you have a very unique perspective of failure and success, or maybe it's not so black and white to you. So what do you see? What's a failure and what's a success to you?
It's so funny. Sorry, I'm just
No.
because I have so many. I have so many ideas coming into my mind, and
Yeah.
I just saw this picture of, because we were talking about, the, I don't know, 2023 version of Teja, or even 2024 version of Teja. If you asked me that in 2024, so when we were recording the first interview, I believe, I still remember how important it was for me. And don't get me wrong, it still is. Just to get to the goal. The success for me was to finish the order, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And 2025 version of Teja, what 2025 in general was teaching me is to start enjoying the process a little bit more.
Mm.
The process of, finalizing the order. How exciting is it to get to know all the steps?
Mm.
Or again, to see who you become, what you go through. Just, yeah, the process of molding yourself and molding the business. And it was a process, because at the beginning of the year, I didn't enjoy that. I was like, let's just get to that goal and that's success. And then, especially second half of the year, I started to really feel it inside. Oh, success is actually the path. Success is when I look in the mirror, who do I see? Success is when things go wrong and I can remain calm. What? That
Mm-hmm.
was something that I learned this year in particular. I was like, wow, this can happen and I can remain calm and happy. So that was new. It is new still. But I guess this is success. And I think failure, I mean, I don't like the word failure. I feel like everything happens for a reason. It's a learning. If something doesn't go as planned, we have this, I think humans, we're so good at just having constructs in our minds that are not serving us at all. And one of those is failure. What is failure? If something doesn't go as planned, again, your mind planned it in a way that you thought, because of, I don't know, a movie that you once saw, this is how things should go.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got disappointed and we got sad and angry and frustrated because of this, even if that might not have been the best possible way for our life, for our business. So yeah, failure, I don't think there's such thing as failure. I think anything that doesn't happen the way you were planning to, and again, our order was not happening the way I was planning, because you always plan it to go smooth and nicely,
Yeah.
you know. I know that every step was teaching me something about me. And I think that's how we should, look at failure, or when things don't go as planned. What is it teaching me about me? What can I learn from the situation?
I mean, by the way, when we did our first episode, that was beginning of this year. I think it was like February of 2025. But so much has changed. It's like you've grown so much. And I wanted to know, when you're looking at yourself in the mirror and recognizing this person that's so calm, even under pressure, what's that shift for you that go from maybe you panic a little bit or going into just staying calm and being very grounded?
There's a few things. One is every morning I go to the mirror and I talk to the person I see, and we decide together that we're gonna, no matter the situation, try to remain calm, conscious, in awareness. Okay, this is what's happening. This is where I want to go. And then situation comes and everything is in your body starts shaking. I'm still human. Everything starts shaking. Yeah. Panic. Sometimes it's anger. Depends on the situation. It's going to trigger different things for you. But yeah, I think panic for me is a big thing. I also, just going back to my science days, I used to have a lot of like anxiety attacks. So panic is definitely still in my field.
Mhm.
When something doesn't go as planned, that's definitely the first emotion that comes up for me. It's like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna die. Like, I obviously it's a funny one because you know that if the order doesn't go as it should, you're not gonna die. So that's but for me, how I kind of measure, I don't know if that was a question, but that's how I understood it. The progress maybe is to shorten the amount of time that I am in this emotion that comes up.
Mm.
So practicing to start or turn on the awareness as fast as I can. And that's sounds so it is easy. It is easy. But it's when you're in the panic, when the panic comes up,
Mhm. Mhm.
it takes time before your brain even comprehends, oh wait, this is just like an old response.
Right, right.
Today in this version, I want to be calm, I want to be happy, I want to be aware of what's happening.
Mm.
So that's a process. But yeah, to shorten that amount of time,
Mm.
that's, I think, the real magic.
Yeah. It's basically you are able to train your nervous system to calm down as as fast as it can, and then be able to detach yourself from that situation. And I remember, I think a couple months ago when I was going through something really like personally quite traumatic, and I felt like literally I felt like my brain was like fried. Like I couldn't think anymore. So I know exactly what you mean. It's like when you're in that situation, you don't always able to have that switch
Yeah.
available, right? But I think again, it's that is knowing that there is a choice for you to switch on that awareness. But that does take practice. And I know you do this, and we talked a little bit about this in the first recording, is that you have these practices that you do. So you talk to the mirror every day, you make a decision what the day is going to be.
That sounds so weird. I'm sorry. I'm like,
But I mean, these are absolutely necessary tools. And I know you do affirmation as well. That's something that we talked about. Do you still do affirmation every day?
not every day. Or maybe it just changed a little bit this year just because it was so intense. I wasn't able to go to a fast affirmation walk every single day like I used to, but I adapted. I adapted to whatever was available in the situation for me, right? I was taking a lot of subway rides, train rides. So I realized even if I'm on a train, I can still do the same affirmation or, you know, reprogramming practice that I do when I'm walking. I still find it a lot more powerful during the walk because I just feel like things are processing. But yeah, that's definitely a big thing.
Hmm.
Big thing for me this year was also just because of the intensity of things and events. It was visualization.
Hmm.
I used to do that sometimes in the evening. This year, I really put it in my schedule every morning around the midday, every evening, just to have a clear picture of this is where I want to go. This is what this order is going to bring for us. This is what this next step is going to, bring the business to. So that was a big thing for me this year, just to remind myself more often of this is where I want to go. This is my goal. This is why I'm doing it. Yeah, I think it changed a little bit, but in the base, it was still the same practice that I've been doing for a few years now.
Mm. Yeah, like you, I think sometimes I don't feel like doing affirmation. Maybe it's just on the days where I just don't feel great. I'm like, "Ah, I don't want to do this. It doesn't just, I'm just not feeling it. But I find that if I make it a daily practice, if I just do it anyway, it does still serve the purpose. And I have you to thank for because I know I really learned that the effectiveness of affirmation from you. I remember February when I visited New York. You took me on a very cold walk on the bridge, and we were talking about affirmation. So I always remember that. I say, if Teja can walk in this cold weather doing affirmation, I can do it too.
I thought of you. uh, I think last week was like -9 degrees Celsius,
Hmm.
which is extremely
Oh
cold.
my gosh.
And then I was walking. I had to walk because I had to go from one place to another. And I was like, oh, Sherry would freeze. But isn't it funny? I just have to say this because I noticed that for myself as well. On the days where you don't feel the best,
Hmm.
meditation feels like, oh,
Yeah.
affirmations feels like, no, I don't
Yeah.
want to do that.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how on exactly the days when you need it most,
Hmm.
your mind, your ego, whatever you want to call that,
Hmm.
is trying to hold you back even more
Yeah.
so that you don't feel a little bit better.
Mm. Mm.
Ah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Absolutely. But I think that made me feel better because I think on the days when I don't feel great, I start to ruminate on these negative thoughts, and these negative thoughts doesn't seem to want to leave my brain. And yeah, like you said, I think my ego is really trying to hold me back. And I think, but those are the days I really, really need me to go into my visualization, do affirmation. So making a daily practice, it's just absolutely crucial. I wanted to ask you how you deal with uncertainties, because I know you are a very goal-oriented person, obviously doing business, fulfilling orders, and reaching financial goals, but there must have been days where you just feel like not really sure what's ahead of me. How do you deal with
Yesterday,
that? Well, for me, every day, but
today just started, so
okay.
it happens
Mhm.
almost every day.
Mm.
I
How
don't
do
I
you
don't
deal
know.
with that? You don't know.
No, I do know, but I
Mhm.
just, it's so funny, especially if, and again, going back to what we were talking when we were talking about growth and pressure. Every time you set a new goal, and every time I set a new goal, every time I have a new thing I want to achieve business-wise, it stretches me. And I just, again, with the help of my mentors, they're helping me understand the process that's going on in my brain, nervous system, everything. And that really helps me because it helps me navigate through, okay, that's normal. So every single goal that I have and I set and I've never achieved before, it stretches me. So it requires me to become a new version of myself. And everything else starts coming up. The doubts,
Mm.
the insecurities, the not good enough, all of it, the whole palette. How I deal with it, again, super similar to what I was talking about, you know, bringing awareness that this is just a process. And the less attention you give to doubt, to insecurities, to, how you said, the thoughts that keep on coming, they keep on coming because you keep on feeding them.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So my doubt, I know that if I start giving attention and look into my doubt, it's going to be bigger and bigger. I'm going to be, oh, okay, maybe this is not the right move for us.
Right.
Very, very soon, it convinces you that this is not the right decision. Okay, so you just don't do it, right? So I, I think again, the sooner you stop it, the better it gets. But also to understand that this is to understand the process. I think for me as well, also being a scientist before, it helps me if I have an understanding and clarity on this is a process I'm going through. This is what's happening in my body. And also just knowing that this is something that is inside of me.
Yeah.
This is something that I'm preconditioned with, maybe.
Right. I love that. And I got to ask you, so you mentioned 2024 was really the year that you shed and to really allowed yourself to build that foundation. And 2025, this year, was a year for you to strengthen that and to really solidify that foundation. So now, how do you define soft power? I mean, especially when it comes to as an entrepreneur.
Soft power, as
Mm-hmm.
I see it today, I have to combine it with kindness. I'm sorry. I feel like this softness, more than anything else, now, today, for me means kindness combined with self-love.
Yeah.
And again,
Mm.
not self-love doesn't mean you're having 3-hour long skincare rituals.
Mm-hmm.
It means, how do I talk to myself? Am I kind to myself? And then from this softness to yourself, there comes so much power. And softness also in a way that you allow things to be. You're in flow.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just like looking at one picture. Okay, I'm always talking about goals. You're looking at the goals, obviously. But you allow things to happen and unfold in whatever magnificent way they have to, or they should,
Mm-hmm.
right? You don't have this one picture and it has to happen in exactly this way. I feel like softness is just, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. And then softness is just also allowing to be led, to be guided.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you're so right. The softness and the kindness, that's exactly what you kept saying was that it's not about not feeling the grief or not feeling the negative doubt. It's about not feeding that to yourself. Turn it off, have that awareness. But that's all softness, right? That's kindness to yourself, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, thank you so much, Taya.
Thank you. I'm not going to cry.
Oh, thank you for crying, though. No, I really do feel like I'm seeing this beautiful young woman just growing and just having so much wisdom. Even though I only know you for a year and a half, but watching you a year and a half ago, watching you now, that just I feel like it's my privilege. It's my honor.
I appreciate you saying that, because I do work on these things a lot. And then to have someone from the outside that
Yeah.
is, I mean, yeah, I know it's been a year and a half. It feels like so much longer, but
It did. Yeah.
but to have actually someone see that and
Mhm.
acknowledge that, it just means a lot, So I really appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. It's evolving beautifully right in front of me. So, and I definitely encourage all the listeners to check out Butter Be Kind. It's such a beautiful brand founded by a beautiful person. And I think that matters so, so much because then you can seriously feel the kindness from this beautiful skincare. I wanted to thank you again. And I cannot wait what 2026 brings you. You're going to be a regular for my podcast. I'll do this every single year with you.
It's a new tradition.
Yes,
Thank you for sharing.
absolutely.
Thank you for having me, Sherry. Thank you
Oh,
for building this community. There's a lot of soft power going on, and I enjoy all the conversations you have. And also I hope you see how you've grown in the last
oh,
year.
thank you.
You haven't been on social media before at all, and now
Yeah.
you're rocking it, and you're
Oh,
building an amazing community of women. So
mm. Thank you.